Well, Czech Republic is a very special rum place. You know, first of all, it's an incredible culture in the crossroads of Europe. My first trip, I'm so sorry, it was only 2 years ago, you know. It was a big shock, and I feel that somewhere it felt like home. So much when I came back and I told my wife about it, she's like, I'm going with you next time, and this is this time. And of course, she was here. And so it's an incredible place. And also, very interestingly, there's a love story between the Czechs and rum. And you know this, for 200 years, over 200 years. And I was reading about it because I was always wondering, why is it that we see all these super smart Czech people coming to visit us in Barbados and in Cognac and learning about rum. And you see on internet a full community of the rum community, 6,000 people, the Planteray community, 1,000 people. So there's a great affinity. And I think it comes from, you know, an old distiller was telling me, when people taste and drink something as a young person, and even when you're younger, you buy a cheaper form of it because you're poorer. It was the same for me. You know, when I was a kid, when we went out, we drank a little cognac, but it was too expensive, so we drank cheap gin. Very bad gin. I drank a lot of bad gin. And that's why I created Citadel, because it's like, I need to show that gin can be delicious and made artisanally. So I think that heritage about the Czech Republic in this rum taste, rum flavors that you know that's hundreds of years old, is now creating a new era where you got this, you know, young in spirit, you know, not necessarily in age, people who want to explore the vast world flavors of rum. And that's what we try to do with Planteray. You know, with Planteray here, we have the XO, which is an old baby that we had like 15 years ago, and it's an old Barbados rum, you know, super complex, very layered and so on. And I loved it as a base, and so I created the PXXO, so it's the same baby, but another year minimum in a Pedro Jimenez sherry barrel. So to shed a different light, and so some of the elements of the XO is shining differently. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Barbados rum. Well, I love the question. And you know, if you look at the rum heritage, and always my inspiration was rum in the old days was a corporation and a work between, you know, the Caribbeans and their customers. And so, for example, West Indies Rum Distillery, the distillery now that I work with and that I own, you know, there's archives going back from over 100 years where they were aging in Barbados, but also aging in London or in Liverpool, using different conditions. And that was part of the trades at the times. And it created a possibility. And also rum, when I started to look at rum seriously 30 years ago, 99% of rum was aged in bourbon barrels still today. Why? Is because bourbon barrels became very affordable in 1934 when, as you know, bourbon had to use fresh barrels. But in the old days, rum was using Madeira barrels, sherry barrels, cognac barrels, and Armagnac barrels, and wine barrels. And with Planteray, I thought it'd be great to be able to celebrate this old tradition of double aging by using not just bourbon barrels, which been using since the 1930s, 1940s, but to celebrate that old tradition of that double aging. And then showing these different terroirs, origins, again, to offer a beautiful taste adventure, the taste adventure of rum as we see it. You know, this is the reason of why I wake up every morning. And you know, I don't know what is good rum because it's good for you. I know what is a characterful rum. The character is what I'm interested in. You know, it's like somebody, what is a good person? I don't know, right? But you know a person with character. And the character might be different than yours or a character, but the character is what we love. You know, at West Indies Rum Distillery, the distillery makes this. We say when we like a rum, we say this rum is rumming. You know, rum is a verb, not just a name. And you know what I'm talking about. It's got the love handle of rum, love handles of rum. And when you say it's not rumming, you know, it's kind of flat. And when it's rumming, it's taking you somewhere. And so to me, the secret to make these rums are full of character, this is what we're celebrating with Planteray, is the way it's fermented, is the way you choose your molasses, is the way you distill, is the way you age. It's 300 years or 400 years of know-how that I'm trying to learn as much as I can.